Welcome to the PP Show, where the D-Gens come to have discussions. Here at the PP Show, everyone has a voice, no matter how long you've traded in the markets. We love all opinions at the PP Show, and we hope you do too. Always remember this show is mainly comprised of opinion, speculation, and entertainment. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, you dildo enthusiasts. God bless Teddy and G-Merica. One last thing, always remember, talk is cheap. It takes money to buy whiskey.
Fellas, how the fuck you doing tonight, man? It's great to see you guys. Thank you for joining me on the PP Show, man, where we love to get together and we love talking about the stock. Let me fix my camera here, and we should be good now. Welcome to the show, man. It's great to see you guys tonight. Thank you for tuning in, man. You know, again, we had a great space call today with Jake Tooby earlier today. It was fantastic. So right on. It's great to see you guys tonight. So there are a couple things that we need to get into tonight. One thing, major thing tonight is the 2686 docket. There has been a lot of people misinterpreting this docket as NOLs being lost, things like that. So we have Travis here with us tonight, man, a tax expert, or a stripper expert, really. But he is here with us tonight, man, so he can get into more of that stuff with us. So right on. All right, so we'll get into the legality and then we'll jump straight into it tonight, man. So right on. It's great to see everybody. Keep in mind, man, I am not a financial expert, nor am I a financial advisor. So please seek the avenues to do so, man. You're not going to find it here. A lot of this is opinion. A lot of this is speculation. And a whole bunch of it, man, is entertainment. All right. We like getting together. We like talking about the stock. And that's really all there is to it, man. So keep that in mind. If you hear any guests that come onto the show and you hear any opinions, TA, speculation, things like that, keep in mind, man, nobody here is a professional. We like getting together and we like talking about this stock. And that's really all there is to it, man. All right. All right. So let's jump into it, man. Let's not waste any time tonight. Again, there's a lot of good information to get into tonight. There was also some interesting tinfoil as well that we should touch up on too. So keep that in mind. Let me go ahead and read these back real quick. Chillin' ZX with the PP note. PP, I'm new to Reddit and I posted in Bed Bath Remastered. Now my karma is -40. Please help. All right. I don't know if we can help you there, Chillin' ZX. Why the fuck are you even over there to begin with, man? Random recipe with a 279. Post meme in the sub and you will be fine. All right, right on. All right, so let's go ahead and start the show, man. So chat, please give a warm welcome to Michael. Michael, how you doing tonight, man? Oh, you're in a GameStop. Right on, man.
Yeah, it's an AI-generated GameStop. So
right on, yeah.
Thing, but
yeah, cool, man. It's great to see you tonight. There is a lot of stuff to get into, so fantastic, man. Excellent. So I'll ask you a couple questions here soon. Did you get a chance to tune into the Doug Sifu space call after the main one?
I lasted like 2 minutes in his call. I just was, I don't know. Part of me was expecting something new. It was just not.
Right. Yeah. Tiny Dong was literally losing his fucking mind, man. It was it's worth watching just to hear Tiny Dong absolutely lose his fucking mind, man. It's quite funny in my honest opinion.
Just like when you can see people just like totally lie and then totally lie. It's like this, I know where this is going if they're just lying the entire time. It's embarrassing. So.
Yeah. Mo Money with the 5 p.m. dump underway, squeezing as usual. All right, man. We're here with 860 people, man, right there with you. Let's go ahead and bring in Travis the stripper, man. So chat, please give a warm welcome to Travis. Travis, how you doing tonight, man? Great to see you.
Doing well, feeling better, well rested. I got a good night's sleep. Thanks for letting me off the hook early. I needed it. Just had a long weekend, and so I'm feeling refreshed, ready to go.
Right on. Excellent. Yeah, we have a major docket tonight pertaining to the NOLs, man. And what better person to ask than Travis himself pertaining to some of this tax stuff. Again,
I'm ready. I'm
yeah,
ready
you know,
for it.
I feel like you're the one who can really hit this dead on better than anyone out there in the community. So why don't we jump straight into 2686? Yeah. What's going on?
Just real quick, I remembered one thing that was someone was asking me some questions after it, and they're like, "Why would he even? Why would Doug Sifu even like have this space? Especially since I think something's gonna happen tomorrow."
Doug Sifu.
And
oh, isn't that like obese guy from New York?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the line.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. That's all I know
the
about him. That's it.
That's all you really need to know. But I think the thing is that who he was trying to talk to, because we already know the stock isn't traded. I think his hope was that he was trying to signal to his buddies of the SEC to like, that's the only hope he has of stopping it would be for the SEC to come in and try and do something. So I think that was what his goal was.
What, to like crowd the space with like a shitload of people and stuff?
Well, just to like convince the SEC to try and stop what's going on, like, because we know we're getting equity, and we know and so like today's the last day that he can petition to them to like just come in and
They've already had. Yeah, and I was about to say, like, even in the dockets, it quite literally states that there was messages to the SEC. So obviously, there's already been correspondence back and forth via dockets. So we already.
I'm not saying it's a viable because like in the SEC came into the court, and you know the judge just is like, no,
overruled.
Sorry.
No,
like it was like I don't know, just boom, just get out of here. I mean, he still thinks that there's at least a sliver of a chance that it could work, which he's wrong. But, because we're watching. And that's the important thing. I think that, that's why they're trying to break our communities, because they know that we have eyes on this situation and that they can't just pull a fast one, just be like, oh, you guys are out of control, we're just going to stop you. It's like, no, we know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, The main thing was also Tiny Dong essentially blaming everything on PP. Just blame PP, man, for everything. The RS was outside the fucking window for the company. Blame PP, goddamn it. It's laughable, man.
I didn't catch the call. I heard you were mentioned.
Kaz as well.
By Doug Sifu.
Yeah.
No, not Jake's call. I heard Doug Sifu mentioned you.
What did he say?
I don't know. I saw it on the subreddit that he mentioned you, or maybe it was Twitter. I don't remember, but that he even mentioned to go after the PB show, and SEC needs to investigate them and shut spaces like this down, because we're a bunch of guys.
What's the issue?
Literally, it's like a bunch of guys getting together at the bar and talking about, yeah, man, I'm investing in this right now, and we're doing this, and I'm doing research, and this is what I found. Because it's all public information. So if sharing public information is illegal, then the SEC should shut down the internet. Which obviously
that's a good point. Yeah. Right. And as well as like, the other thing too is that there's nothing illegal to get together and talk about anything, man. Again, we share ideas here. We share opinions, speculation, things like that. We're big fucking tinfoil guys by nature, man. That's just kind of, or me at least. So I love hearing the tinfoil on the show, and I absolutely allow it, just as I allow any other opinion here. So, it's laughable, to be honest with you.
What we do is speculation. We're saying, like, is this roadmap viable, right? Like, could someone do this? Whereas what he's saying is just a blatant lie. He's like, oh, 10 billion won't cover all the liabilities that Bed Bath has. Like, where is he even getting that number? Like, there's no speculative way you could even arrive at that makes any sense. That's just a blatant lie. And that's the difference. We're trying to present things that potentially could work. He's not.
Yeah.
I saw a comment. This is the PP show, or it's called the PP show, Your Honor. I rest my case.
Yeah. Kai's is calling us real quick. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with Kai's tonight. So, chat, welcome, Kai's. Kai's, what's going on, man?
PP, how are you, my brother?
Fantastic, man. Welcome to the PP show. We got over 1,000 PPs in here, almost 1,100 tuning in tonight. What's going on, man?
I'm doing great. I just announced a thumb war with Doc Sifu.
All right.
To challenge him to the end. And I'm sure, listen, PP, especially today, especially tonight, out of those 1,000 people, I can assure you 100% that idiot Tony, who was overwhelmed and overexcited and, showing that he's the brave man, I'm sure he's listening tonight, so he can see what we're gonna say about him.
Sure.
All right, Tony, I know you're listening here. I know you are listening out of those 1,000 people, and I can tell you something. Salvador registered. I mean, he downloaded the space, and you did a lot of legal mistakes over there. All right.
Oh.
Yes. So first of all, he. I mean, listen, PP, you can consult a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
You can start a legal case against not Saifo. Saifo is smart. He didn't fall in any legalities, but the other idiot, he did. Mm-hmm. So where he made mistakes. He made mistakes when he attacked Ryan Cohen. Mm-hmm. He made mistakes when he attacked you. Uh-huh. And he made mistakes when he attacked Bill Pulte. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm driving home. I'm gonna go home right now. I'm gonna re-listen to the space, but I'm sure the guy made three legal mistakes over there, and he can be persecuted. And everybody of the three, you, Bill Pulte, and Ryan, can sue that guy.
All right, right on.
All right. Other than that, I just tweeted that I challenge Doc Saifo for a thumb war, and I'm waiting for his answer.
All right, we'll see what happens, man. Cool. Well, you heard it from Kais tonight, man. Kais, we love having you on the show, man. And again, if there's anything else you want to add on your way out, we're all ears.
Yes, we love the stock. Doc Saifo and Tony and Amy. You did nothing to move us from our love to the stock and our conviction. We have an unwavering conviction that we are heading to the moon. And, you lost. You lost everything. As far as Doug Saifo, he lost his mind, and very soon he's gonna lose everything. We're gonna. I said it 2 days ago. Yeah, I want to add something else. He mentioned, he said, when people on Twitter attack my wife and kids, mm-hmm. All right? I just want to bring something here for the 1,000 listeners, including Tony. All right? The first one who brought families is them. All right, they brought my son to the image. It was me and Doc Saifo only. I never brought his wife or kids, right? But when they brought my son to that game, I brought everybody. Mm-hmm. So they started, and what I did is a repost what they did. You don't mess up with my kid, I don't mess up with your kids.
Right on. All right. That's it. All right. You heard it from Kais tonight, man. All right. Appreciate having you on, man. Have a good rest of your night.
Good night, guys.
Take care. All right. You heard it from Kais tonight. Right on. Very against Doug Sifu. Right on. Yeah.
Sorry. I was just making it funny in private chat. My bad.
All right. No worries. So we should get into 2686, and then
let's do it.
I missed a couple tips here. Let me read them back. Thunder's Queeper with the 5. Where's Plur? It's a great question, man. He was just here yesterday, so maybe we'll see him again. I'm not too sure if he's going to be coming around tonight, but maybe we'll get him tomorrow. Marantz Rants with the 2. One of the mods banned me. Others can't see my chat. Marantz Rants, I can see you in the chat. Are you sure you're banned? Mo Money with the 5. The irony of this entire saga is that mods of SS were supporting that other space call, talking about getting into bed with a market maker. We are OGs. Right on, Mo Money. Excellent. Beautifully
said. Is that true?
What?
Or like other were super stonk mods like on that call, like in favor of a market maker?
Well, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah, Platinum Sparkles, maybe Badass Trader. I'm not really too sure. I haven't really been following either one of them. So,
gosh, when they're just gonna fall off the face of the earth when this thing goes.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing will be, obviously, you know, the first thing they'll say is, you know, if it turns out Ryan Cohen's involved in this, Ryan Cohen always was involved in this, and a lot of the tinfoil was true. Most likely,
we got her on a call with Jake saying he is not involved. Like, she's adamant about it. So
right. Yeah, most likely you'd have a lot of uproar from within the communities, of course. But, you know, the first thing that they'll go to is that they, you know, wanted to protect people's money, stuff like that. I don't think, you know, I think the people who should protect their money is the people who make their money, right? You know, you work for your money, protect your goddamn money.
I don't even protect my own money.
What? You should.
I don't even protect my own money. No, I invest in bankrupt companies that are on the brink of like collapse, and I love it, and it's fun, and I don't gamble. I never go to casinos because I know if I go to casino, whatever money I take, I plan to lose.
Sure.
I do my research. You know, if I'm wrong and my due diligence is wrong, so be it. I've been wrong before, but I mean, I research the hell out of my stuff. I don't play with my money. I didn't come from much. I come from humble beginnings, and I'm pretty modest in my lifestyle. And you know, this is important to me, and that's why I come on the show, is because I do believe in this. I really do. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even protect my own money with this one. With this one was zero or hero, and I'm here for it.
Right on. All right, cool. We also have a famous variety here with us. I'm going to go ahead and pull them in, and then we can start getting through this docket here. So chat, give a warm welcome to famous variety. All right, we got famous variety with us tonight, man. How you doing? All right, we can't hear you, but right on. Good to see you. We got a Stank Bank with the 279 Bed Bath & Beyond ad as I tuned in. No shit. All right, we're getting some Bed Bath ads now on the fucking PP show. Right on, man. The Gravitron with the 2. Please give this to Platinum to watch for me. All right, right on. We'll get that over to Platinum. All right. So let's go ahead and start with this docket here, and let's read through it.
Was there a specific part that you wanted to? Because I remember. So okay, Hey Ross actually came on a Twitter space and was explaining how
tax issues.
Yeah, that
sorry, I'm eating. But you want to go to tax issues, and I'll take it from there. I'm going to be off screen because I am eating, and I'm muting while I'm eating.
That's fine. I can read this shit while you're eating. Let's let's scroll down to the Gibbons stuff. Yeah, right here.
This one?
Yes, right here. All right, first and first and final application of Gibbons PC for compensation of professional services rendered and reimbursement of expenses for the period from May 23rd, 2023 through September 29th. Hang on one second. All right. What it says here is Gibbons PC, Gibbons or the firm as special counsel to the official committee of the unsecured creditors, the committee of the above captioned debtors and debtors in possession, the debtors hereby submits this first and final application for compensation of professional services rendered and reimbursement of expenses. The application pursuant to Section 330 of Title 11 of the United States 11 USC 101-1532, the Bankruptcy Code, Rule 2016 of the Federal Rules of Bankruptcy Procedure, bankruptcy rules.
Just real quick question. Like, it's interesting that it all stops on the 29th. Do you guys think that is like that they haven't actually, that no one's actually had fees or done anything with like since then? Or is it that now it's the new owner is actually paying all the lawyer fees rather than the debtor? I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that.
I think it's the new owner, or not new owner. It's the new entity that will be liable for any fees for those lawyers.
Yeah. So that just seemed kind of cool to me that it's like already the new entity is like there because Yeah. Anyway.
And also,
they haven't left chapter 11, but they're still there.
Yeah, and someone had submitted a post in the PP subreddit. It's sifted under new in the last like hour, I think, or two, and it's pertaining to this docket and saying that essentially, what it's saying is that what was it? It said something about failure to monetize the NOLs, and we're gonna get into that post as well. It got downvoted into oblivion,
I was going to touch on
it.
that.
Yeah, we're going to touch on it after the docket, and we're going to get more into that. So yeah, all right. So of the local rules of the United States Bankruptcy Court for the District of New Jersey, Appendix B, guidelines for reviewing applications for compensation and reimbursement of expenses filed by attorneys in large Chapter 11 cases, the U.S. trustee guidelines, and order granting debtor's motion for entry. All right, let's go ahead and scroll down and let's find where they get into the... yes, yeah, right there. Go up. You just had it. Just keep going up.
Oh.
Yeah, right here. Oh, my apologies. Keep going down.
Okay. So
I'm trying to find the section where they're highlighting the NOLs.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, what a
and
blessing.
it's TAC issues.
All right, right here is where it's at. Yeah, scroll up for me. The Gibbons. Yeah. All right. By the application, Gibbons seeks entry of an order substantially in the form attached hereto to Exhibit C, approving on a final basis a professional compensation in the total amount of $179,833, inclusive of estimated fees incurred for the preparation of the fee application rendered by Gibbons professionals and paraprofessionals, and B, reimbursement of reasonable and necessary expenses incurred in connection with the professional services rendered in the total amount of 198 for the period of May 23rd, 2023 through September 29th, 2023. Gibson rendered reasonable and necessary professional services as requested by the committee and its professionals. During the compensation period, Gibbons' blended hourly rate for services rendered, considering the estimated amounts for preparation of this application, was $774, which included 176.8 hours performed by directors, 53.6 hours performed by an associate, and 1.8 hours performed by paraprofessionals and administrative personnel. The following summaries describe certain work performed by Gibbons, which is organized by project category as required by the U.S. trustee guidelines. All right, so this is the tax issues. It says Gibbons primarily worked with the committee's other professionals to develop a strategy to preserve the debtor's tax attributes, including net operating losses for the benefit of their unsecured creditors, ultimately due to the expedited nature of the Chapter 11 cases, complexity of the Chapter 11 cases, and limited nature by which an entity may transfer certain tax attributes. No post-confirmation corporate structure was implemented through the plan to monetize the debtor's net operating losses. Many of the other categories of work performed by the firm including asset analysis and recovery, asset disposition, and plan and disclosure statement, overlapped with and complemented the firm's services in connection with tax issues. All right, so let's discuss this section for a moment. All right, let's stay on this section here, Michael.
No, go to the previous section.
Okay, my apologies. Previous section before
I got this.
Tax issues right here.
Do you want to pull up yours?
Sure. Okay. Sorry. Let me do it. Oh, sorry, wrong one. And here. I'm eating. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to scrap some food.
No, you're good.
What are you eating, Travis? What's for dinner?
I'm eating pork enchiladas with pinto beans, cilantro lime rice, and chicken guacamole.
You're not having the old ramen tonight?
No. My queen treats me like a king, and I treat her like a queen.
Right on. All right. Let's go ahead and scroll down to the section that you wanted to highlight. Was it the Gibbons rendered reasonable, necessary professional services, or which section?
Right. Let's start here before we get into tax issues.
Sure.
Excuse me. Gibbons rendered reasonable and necessary professional services as requested by the committee and its professionals. The committee being the UCC.
Yes.
Okay. That's all we need to know for now. Everything else is kind of just jargon. Gibbons primarily worked with the committee's other professionals. Again, they're not doing, I mean, they're telling you, here's what we did. We didn't work a lot with the company. We worked with the UCC. And so, I mean, they're telling you a lot here about what they did. Now, many of the categories of work performed by the firm, including asset analysis and recovery, 363, asset disposition, and plan and disclosure statement, overlapped with and complemented the firm's services in connection with the tax issues. Good. I'll go back just a little bit, and I will cover this sentence just because it's probably more
I have a
important.
lot of questions to that sentence when we get
Ultimately, due to the expedited nature of the Chapter 11 cases, complexity of the Chapter 11 cases, and limited nature by which an entity may transfer certain tax attributes, and limited nature by which an entity may transfer certain tax attributes. I read that twice. We'll get back to that. No post-confirmation corporate structure was implemented through the plan to monetize the debtor's net operating losses. And I'm sure that's the point that everybody wants to focus on. So let's focus on that. How do you monetize net operating losses? Well, 3 years ago, there's really one way, and that is to become profitable. And then COVID hit, and Congress came out with the CARES Act. And the CARES Act states how you can monetize net operating losses. And it's a unique tax application. I don't know a better word for that right now. Where you can actually, I'm going to go ahead and let me just share this tab.
Well, yeah, why don't we pull that up too? And real quick, Crush Orchid with the 10. Appreciate the love, man. Did I hear correctly today? Doug Sifu contracted Hep C. All right, maybe so. I haven't really been following it, but sorry to hear that, man. Go ahead, Travis.
So the CARES Act was part of the whole. I mean, it's partial COVID relief. There's a lot of other things within it. But it was an act that was done to help businesses survive everything we went through, through COVID and everything else, and to give back to the economy and inject money into the economy. Hello, inflation. But a lot of this is, a lot of your net operating losses had a 20-year carryback, or I'm sorry, 20-year carry forward, but you couldn't carry them back. And the CARES Act allowed them to carry them back, as it sees right here. It can be carried back 5 years. So if you were profitable in the last 5 years, you can carry those net operating losses back instead of just 20 years forward. That allows you some tax savings now that can then be utilized for a variety of different reasons. Maybe it's with bonds, or maybe you get these tax credits. IRS pays you, and then you can pay off some of your bonds, or give them more. And so it appears to me that, this is for tax issues. It appears to me that the lawyers were looking into, can we monetize these into cash so we can get more than our 2.5%?
I see. Okay.
So by monetize, like you're getting the money back that you
exactly
in
order to monetize. Exactly. Sorry.
Okay.
So they're actually giving you a check of money that you already paid.
It's a refund.
So then it's beneficial that they were not able to monetize the NOL, correct?
Sorry, I'm done eating.
In that case,
it is. I'm sorry. Can you repeat
either
the
way?
question?
I think right.
The question is the question is in terms of the NOLs, okay, and them being monetized. That is not what you want. So when they say they were not able to monetize the NOLs, that is correct. That is not something you want with the NOLs, correct?
Because that would go in the distribution, the waterfall distribution, which we probably wouldn't want. So it's like it'd be okay, but not what we want. What we want is the new company going forward to have those tax breaks as it moves forward, not to have more money in the waterfall distribution.
I'm just trying to ask this for people to understand.
So
if you go back
to
to the
answer
original
the question,
statement,
I'm sorry.
I mean, this might be what you're about to say, Travis, but if you go back to the original statement, what it says is the corporate structure, what is it? The no post confirmation corporate structure was implemented through the plan to monetize the debtor's net operating losses. So, I mean, I hate lawyer speak, right? But when I read that, that kind of reads like they didn't implement any corporate structure for the purpose of carrying forward NOLs.
I read it differently. I read it as they didn't implement a corporate structure where they can monetize the NOLs through the new corporate structure. And we, I might need to do some more digging. I'm trying to scratch the surface and kind of dumb down the lawyer speak a little. The way I see it, and to answer your question, PP, it depends on which side of the aisle you are on.
Okay.
If I'm a bondholder, I want to monetize the NOLs. If I'm an
Of
equity
course.
holder, hell no.
Okay,
No.
that's what I'm mainly trying to get through. So there could be two instances of a NOL, like a net or operating loss. Like you can have a monetized net operating loss, and then what? You can just have a net or operating loss. Is that how it works?
Well, monetizing is almost carrying it back to get a tax refund.
Okay.
Keeping the status quo would be a 20-year carry forward, which most net operating losses are.
I see. Okay.
And so I want to monetize this in the future as an equity holder. I want my equity to be made whole or halved, because we might give 50% and get diluted that way, but we're still going to be made whole in the long run.
Right.
And then the net operating losses can be used in the future. That's what I would want as an equity holder. As a bond holder, I want a tax refund so I get more cut. I get more of that waterfall, just as Famous said. And he's 100% correct on that. So again, to answer your question, it depends on which side of the aisle you are on. This is the way that I see it. I'm just scratching the surface here. This isn't a deep dive, but I'm trying to hey, what's the rule of thumb here? I haven't gotten into the what's the word I'm looking for? It's like you have the rule of thumb, and then you have your one-offs or your exclusions or something like that, or anything that can change what the rule of thumb is.
Right.
Wild cards.
Yeah, wild cards, but I mean that's not the word I'm looking for. It's
Exception?
just exceptions. Thank you. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. You have your exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into the exceptions. This is just kind of the rule of thumb. And so if I was a bondholder, yeah, I want my lawyers looking at this, which is what the lawyers did.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Failed.
But you're right, because it was expedited, and it's also a very complex bankruptcy. Like a lot of people tend to sit here and say that this is like a black and white bankruptcy. It's just like is how it appears. I don't think so. I mean, and even Jake highlighted it last night too. This is an extraordinary bankruptcy, and thus I have not seen any form of an extraordinary bankruptcy until I see how this plays out. So, real quick, we got Elizabeth with the 5. Appreciate the love. Where's Sal? I need to ask him which thesaurus he's supposedly getting all his fancy words from. All right, right on. We also got a 5 from Majin Dad. There you have it. Unwavering NOLs. Right on, man. Yeah, I agree. And also Rusty Shackelford with the 50 PP memberships, man. Holy shit, Rusty. Appreciate the fucking support, man. Right on, Rusty. If you got a membership from Rusty, be sure to give a thanks in the chat. And for those wondering, for those out there wondering who Rusty Shackelford is, it's Dale Gribble, man. So right on. All right, let's get back to Travis. Go ahead, Travis. Let's hear it.
No, that was pretty much it. For me, with the tax issues. Yeah. The fact that they weren't able to monetize this. And let's talk about why they weren't able to monetize this. You have to go back into your net operating losses for the last 5 years.
Right.
Well, how did the last 5 years look for Bed Bath & Beyond? You had COVID. You had 2021, the year after COVID. And you had 2022, roughly. Let's go over those big 3. COVID, everything's shut down. You're hemorrhaging money. Every company is hemorrhaging money. Every company is getting a PPP loan just to help get through, everything we were going through. 2021, probably not as good. I mean, you're going to be doing better for sure, but not as good. 2022, they were doing okay, but they had CapEx that was more than their net cash flow. They had stock buybacks that were costing them a lot of money and presenting more NOLs. They had all these things that whoever hired Mark Tritton after this, fire him. Because a general accountant can look at the cash flow statement and go, what is this idiot doing? It was so blatant that it had, or it wasn't so blatant. It was so obvious that it had to be blatant.
Right.
That this guy was running this into the dirt intentionally. And so I think he's at Nordstrom right now.
He is, yes.
Yeah. Do not put him in charge of anything important. Let's just say that. Don't let him have operational decisions. But I mean, if he wants to run some numbers, whatever. But as an accountant, I look at the cash flow statement over the years while he was there, and I'm like, this guy had no clue what he was doing.
Well, he was putting black label products like in the shops, and none of it was selling either.
Oh gosh,
he was buying shit inventory. I mean, like, you know, and I remember really early on in the show, you know, for the longest time, you know, I just assumed that he was just like a fucking plant, just like a shill. But, you know, the reality too is that this guy could have just been incredibly dumb as well. You know, it's reality is there's a lot of CEOs out there that are just not very intelligent. But I think that he was brought primarily, you know, if you ask me personally, I think he was brought into the company to bring it down and to destroy it. And again, like you can see all the mistakes that he made and throughout, you know, the entire company itself, taking on a crazy amount of fucking loans, buying back share buybacks, upwards in the billions. I mean, this is not normal, you know, for a CEO to act this way. So he did jeopardize the company. And again, like it's one thing, like if the company was generating, you know, 200 million, 500 million in revenues, like this company was doing, you know, over $3 to $4 billion a year in revenues. Like people shop there. There was no issue in terms of making money. The problem was that the company was put in an extremely tough situation by doing these buybacks and, you know, by spending a lot of the money that the company had, you know, that's how they ended up where they're at today. So, again, I think this chapter 11 is really going to turn some things around. So,
and to elaborate on that, it was not only just the buybacks, but it was three things. It was your net income was negative. I mean, you were posting a loss,
right?
Yet you were doing share buybacks, and you were doing capital expenditures, which is injecting cash into your PP&E, property, plant, and equipment,
right.
Whether that's store remodels or furniture, fixtures, equipment, or whatever you need for your stores. But when your CapEx outweighs your net loss, you cut back on CapEx.
Right. All right. No worries. We'll submit a link out in the chat if anybody wants to join the show as well. Go ahead, Travis.
There was a clatter that I had to make sure everybody was okay.
All right.
And so like looking at the cash flow statement, just as from an accounting standard or accounting standpoint, if it wasn't Tritton, whoever his CFO was, dude was part of it because he had to know. He's like, yo, he's got to be telling Tritton, or at least know, hey, we're hemorrhaging cash, we're buying back stocks at a value that's higher than it should be, and we're doing capital spend where we are just burning through cash, and it'll run out in the next 2 to 3 years at this rate.
Right.
And they did nothing to cut it back. In fact, they increased it. And that's why I looked at it and I went through and reviewed. And I'm a run-of-the-mill accountant. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a genius. I'm not an expert in tax. I'm not an expert in, I'm an expert in a couple things. But tax is outside my area of expertise. Financial statement preparation, cash flow, PP&E, those are my specialties.
Sure.
It was insane. Looking at, how can a CFO look at this and go, we need to tighten the belt right now. Like stop the buybacks, stop CapEx spend, shut it down until we figure out how to post a profit or how to bring in more cash flow. It was insane to me. And I gosh.
How's the fucking guy not in jail, man?
Yeah, I mean,
this is fucking crazy.
Not fraud. It's not fraud, but it
is, but you can feign incompetence.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think famous is correct.
I'm a run-of-the-mill accountant, and I saw this from a mile away going, what was this guy doing?
Like intentionally bankrupting a company and screwing over its shareholders, creditors. I mean, that's a big like that could definitely land you in jail as a CEO. But again,
I think that's what he is doing, because like if you think like Ryan Cohen, as far as investing, followed him to Nordstrom, right? Ryan Cohen bought into Nordstrom, and I think it's like if he knew, hey, this guy's like, if Ryan Cohen's trying to hold companies accountable, say like, look, I know what you're about to do. You're about to try and kill this company, just like you've been doing to all these other companies, you know. And so he buys in to be able to either try and just stop it, just as like an activist, not even like as a to make any money. Just like I'm sure he doesn't want to see all of our companies just get destroyed, you know.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Go ahead, Travis. And then I'm going to.
I was going to say he's getting on the front end of it and saying, "I know what you're about to do with this company. I'm going to stop it before you even have an opportunity." No, I agree. I think that's maybe what he was trying to do with Nordstrom.
Because no one in their right mind would want to buy in right when Mark Triton comes in, because you know it would go down. So he would be losing money, right? So I think it has to be either he just wants them not to, he just doesn't want more companies to, like the infrastructure of our economy to be destroyed. You know?
Yeah. Crushed Orchid with the 10. Travis is a run-of-the-mill accountant, but is fine. He is an expert stripper. Always have a fallback plan. All right.
This is true.
All right. Let's go ahead and bring in Jameson, man. So chat, give a warm welcome to Jameson. Jameson, what's going on, man? You're on the ThePPShow.
Thank you, PP. I got the good intro. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, man. What's going on tonight? What's on your mind?
Well, not a lot on my mind. Everybody in the well, actually, a couple things. Let me rephrase that. Everybody in the Reddit community PP thread, and I think you alluded to it a little bit earlier, right? Thinks that I'm this massive shill that just wants to shit on everybody and destroy everything. And
that you're a shill?
Doug Sifu and I am like best friends.
What? This is the first time I've heard of it.
I know, it's wild, dude. It's wild. But you know what, though? I think it's because I need some clarification. And listen, I'll come to us. I know the experts are here. I know people that know a little bit more than me, actually a lot more than me, are here. And while Travis might be an expert stripper, I hope he's as good of an accountant as he is a stripper, because I'd love for some clarification on this shit. Right?
Well, are you the one that posted Oh, you're the one who posted it, and I couldn't even. The post was deleted. I couldn't even read it.
I didn't delete shit, man.
Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. You're the one who posted it is right here. You keep this word. I do think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, you
right?
keep saying this word. I'm not sure it means
let's pull it up. Let's pull it up while you're here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
let's go through
here.
it. 100%.
Michael, let's pull this up. Let's see what's going on. Yeah.
And for clarification, you posted 2, correct?
No. Well, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Earlier in the morning, I posted about it, and this weird thing that got beaten to oblivion, and then everybody seemed to say, hey, I think this means something different. In which case, I need to say, hey, guys, I don't think it really means something different.
All right, we're going to read it right now.
Okay, this is different.
Let's read it. Yeah, let's read it right now, and let's refute it live. All right, so Jameson here made this post here, and he is a holder. We've known Jameson for a long time in the show as well. You keep saying this word. I do think it means what you think it means. I'm not a shill. I've been in this play a long time, and I've loved this community. I pray there is something that leads to a victory for us. I do. We are being told in official court documents they couldn't save the NOLs. You all need to look up failure to monetize NOLs. And Travis, if you can start pulling that up in the background, we'll take a look at it.
If we can dispute this, please.
Yes,
dude,
we'd love to.
Yeah.
When a company fails to monetize its net operating losses, NOLs, it means the company is unable to use these losses to offset taxable income and reduce its tax liability. Monetizing NOLs typically involves applying them against profits in profitable years, which can lead to lower or no income tax payments. If a company cannot utilize its NOLs effectively, it might face higher tax obligations, impacting its financial performance and ability to recover from losses. Maybe our white knight steps up. I hope he does, but I am starting to believe this. The only thing I'm getting from this play is my own mini NOL. The documents are continuing to back that up. All right. What do you think, Travis, in terms of this post here? Because monetizing NOLs and utilizing NOLs seem like two different things from what you're telling me, Travis. So I just want to try to understand this more Why don't you explain it a little bit better? Because again, some of the tax stuff, it goes right over my head. So let's hear it.
So if I heard you correctly, monetizing NOLs and monetizing NOLs are two different things. No. And so I may have misheard you there. Sorry. I got kids in one ear and you in the other. But if I heard the question correctly, so monetizing NOLs is using them. Well, 3 years ago, this was clean cut and dry. It's net operating loss carry forward.
Correct.
Now with the CARES Act, you have two options. You have a 5-year look back and a 20-year carry forward. And with that, with the look back, let's say I paid income taxes last year. I have net operating loss this year. I can go and submit a claim for, hey, I have these net operating losses where I paid income taxes last year. Due to the CARES Act, I'm due a refund. That's how you monetize them using the CARES Act, where bondholders would love to see it. Option 2 would be a carry forward, where it will offset future taxable income.
That's what I'm asking. So essentially, they're essentially two completely different ways that you can utilize a NOL, correct?
Utilize, yes. Monetize, there's only one way to monetize,
of course,
and that is a carry back.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So you can either have a carry back or you can have a carry forward.
So explain a carry back then, right? Because if you can carry a tax offset forward, that would obviously offset your, future tax liabilities when you generate a profit, right? But if you're talking about tax back as an option to negate profits or
no, that's easy.
What? I'm sorry. Yeah. Please.
No, you're good, and a great question, and I'll try to simplify this, and I'll even use numbers. Let's say I made $1 million in profit, taxable profit last year, and I had $2 million loss this year. I can then say, hey, I had a $1 million loss last year, and I have $2 million profit this year. I can use $1 million of that and carry it back, and the other $1 million I can carry it forward. Now that $1 million that's carried back, and I know I'm mirrored, so I'm probably using the wrong hands here. Just bear with me. The $1 million that's carried back, I can then ask for a refund from the IRS or Department of Treasury, technically. But and you can get a $1 million cash injection now for a refund, and you still have a $1 million carry forward, which you can carry forward for 20 years until you have another big loss, where you can then utilize it to offset your taxes. Does that make sense? Or
it does. It does. So if they were able to do that, that would have potentially been a cash infusion that would have paid for unsecured creditors and possibly other people down the street, right?
Which makes sense that they're not utilizing it this way as well.
Sure, but in order to utilize them, does not ownership structure need to remain the same?
No, actually, the reason that they weren't allowed to use it was because the CARES Act is over. That time window is over. They were just hoping that because they should have done it during the time window, that they had those losses during that time window. They were hoping they could do it, but the window actually for them to use the CARES Act is over.
So does that mean old rules apply?
So they're just saying, could we go back and try to do this rule that now no longer applies? So that it was just a wish that they could make happen, but it wasn't.
Sure. Go ahead.
I agree.
And they can't make NOLs continue to happen if there is a change in ownership, right?
Well, the filing already says they have 1.6 billion just from last year. So they're trying to get more, but we already know we at least have 1.6. It's in the filings. They got it.
But there's a difference between taking advantage of the NOLs and whatever NOLs they would want to take, right? Maximizing NOLs and actually being able to take advantage of them to begin with.
Agreed. Now, to talk more about the CARES Act, yes, it has expired. And I think because of the amount of time that these particular lawyers, Gibbons, had spent, it was only 200 hours. I think they spent these hours trying to get a capital or a cash injection by carrying these back for the unsecured creditors, which is the bondholders. And I think, and I could be wrong here, I'm just speculating, but I think they try to do that. That's why I only see 200 hours on their invoice, not more than 300. It's 200 and change. But it's like, I think they were trying and attempting to get more cash for the unsecured creditors, which is the bondholders. But they found out that no, in fact, this has expired. This is done. We can't do this. We tried. We can't monetize these. So you can't monetize them.
Though, for the reason why they couldn't monetize them, the reason they quoted for not being able to monetize them was a significant ownership change. Right.
So someone else owns them. Someone else has the NOLs then in their possession, right? Or someone will be acquiring them at that
because
point,
if
right?
the company is not owned by the same shareholders, the same ownership structure, then the NOLs are either recalculated or could potentially be wiped out entirely.
What do you think, Travis?
But when was that ownership change? When did it happen, right?
The ownership happened when they claimed bankruptcy and all stock got wiped out.
Well, no, because it could have happened when 6th Street came in and had
but if they issue new equity to 6th Street and 6th Street gets all the new equity or whatever, they split it up between people, that's a substantial ownership change, which negates the ability to potentially use NOLs. Yes or no? I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'd love to hear it.
Real quick, I'll pass it to Travis. Emotional damage with the 5. His parents caught a NOL when he was born, and also pure American with the 10. First time in my life, someone said, "I will simplify it and I will use numbers." Wait, what? All right, go ahead, Travis.
No, to answer the question, yes and no. We don't know when the ownership percentage changed permanently. We don't know. We do know that we had some of the United States greatest tax accountants on this. Kirkland and Ellis, Alvarez Massal. I mean, we had all. Pachulski was in on this. I mean, you had some of the best people in the world on this. Like, again, I'm not a tax expert. I started my career in tax. I hated it. I went back into corporate general accounting, and I love it.
I thought you were going to say you went back to stripping.
No, never had to do that again.
You'll make a killing, Travis.
Not with this body anymore. Come on, this was like 15, 20 years ago.
So when we were talking about B. Riley yesterday, right? There, think about if $1 billion worth of they were allowed to issue $1 billion worth of shares. Likely that was way more than 51% of the company. So, issuing those shares alone would change the ownership, right? So maybe that would nullify other NOLs. But since that point in what was that, February, they've lost a lot of value that they could use as net operating losses since February. Tons of value, because you take the value of the company, which was evaluated at $5 billion, and then it's like, okay, now it's pennies on the dollar. So either way you look at it, whenever the ownership change happened, there was huge losses, and those ones will be able to be carried forward. They rated it at 1.6. How they got to that, I don't know, but it was already in there. So.
And also, Bruce here says the NOLs are not gone. The unsecured creditors wanted to monetize them, but they failed because Kirkland and Ellis had them with DK Butterfly. What are our thoughts there?
Good possibility. And I want to say I disagree with Michael on this part. So Bed Bath & Beyond's fiscal year ended in September, but the tax year is always the same. It's always going to end in December. And so they have to redo their books. They have to reanalyze what is our tax basis for the year. And in February, the ownership started changing. Well, at December, ownership was the same. So let's look at those NOLs as of the end of December, and can we carry these back for the last 5 years, monetize these for us, and we get a bigger cut. And so from a tax perspective, I just don't see that particularly being the case. What was the other question?
Had an agreement, though. Like,
it's possible. Like I said, I'm not a tax expert, man.
Right. We can only.
I know, like, and I hope the NOLs are like the NOLs are the whipped cream on top.
Go ahead, Famous. Yeah.
Like the NOLs here. I mein, this thing is not dependent on the NOLs. Like, yes, they would be super, super nice, and I do believe that we are still going to be able to carry those forward. I do agree that this was an attempt by the unsecured creditors.
Right.
But this does not. I mean, even if in a magical world those were just completely wiped out, I mean, we took the whipped cream off the sundae from where I sit.
Same.
I want that one. I would say the fuck they're not. Like you have $1.6 billion of
that's
NOLs.
Like a lot of fucking money, man.
That's the fucking Sunday.
Oh, it's not nothing. But if you
consider Famous, actually, I think it's the whipped cream. I mean, think about like the short interest, right? You know, when Ryan Cohen, he wrote his letter, he listed the short interest as an asset, but he didn't list the NOLs. There's a lot. There's a lot of value in there.
All right. Maybe
and you
it's
think about how long it would take to
chocolate.
IPO, right? How
The
if you
strawberry.
wanted to IPO
Squeeze.
Teddy, it would take years. He can do it instantly.
Let's pass it back over to Jameson here. Jameson, go ahead.
Listen, I'll head out. That was all I really wanted to talk about. I mean, I feel like there's a lot more to have a discussion about regarding this. I don't think it's as clear cut as some people would like to think. I would love for there to be something for us. I absolutely would. All right. PP, you've known I've been a part of this for a long time.
Yeah, you've been a long time viewer for a long time here.
I love what we're doing here. And even if this is nothing and we've created a great community, that means something to me, man. That means something to me. So I'm not a shill. These are just my own personal beliefs about what's going on. And if all I did acquire is my own personal NOL, guess what? I acquired a lot more than that because of this community and everything that goes on here. I love it. All right. I love it. But I'm not going to lie to myself.
No, of course, man. I mean, we should be asking the questions, right? I mean, but, you know, really it comes down to understanding like a NOL. I think that a lot of us are not tax professionals as well, but we can try to make the best educated guess, by analyzing what it is in terms of a monetized NOL and how that affects a business, either moving forward or however it may be. So with that being said, Jameson, appreciate having you on the show, man, and enjoy the rest of the night.
Absolutely, guys. I'm going to keep watching. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Have a great night, guys.
See you, man. All right, you heard it from Jameson. We also got a Keenan with the 1399. I used to work as a stock clerk at Bed Bath & Beyond Inn. I met the COO of Bed Bath & Beyond at the time. The CEO, Mark Triton, was supposed to come visit our location. However, he canceled because he was just too busy. All right, right on, man. We also got real quick a couple other tips here. We got Mo Money with the 2. The whipped cream is now on my tip. Good grief with the 2. Guys, can we talk about the NOLs? All right, right on. Yeah, we've been discussing them for a while. Go ahead, Travis.
I was going to say, we never finished the last section of Docket 2686.
Yeah, I just pulled it back up.
There we go. I was going to say, I do want to come back to that. I know we got a little sidetracked.
Sure.
But I think the next part is the most important. The case administration. So I don't know if you want to start reading.
Yeah, I can read it here. Case administration, asset analysis and recovery, asset disposition, meetings of and communications with creditors, plan and disclosure statement, and trial and hearing attendance. As indicated above, services rendered in these categories overlapped with and complemented the firm's services in connection with tax issues. This included reviewing pleadings filed with the court, reviewing and analyzing my apologies, fellas, analyzing the debtor's financial concerning net operating losses, communicating with unsecured creditors, including certain bondholders, analyzing the debtor's disclosure statement and Chapter 11 plan, and attending hearings conducted by the court. The firm's services in these categories were necessary and reasonable, as its goal was to preserve and monetize the debtor's net operating losses, and certain events during these Chapter 11 cases necessarily impacted the ability to do so, including the sale of the debtor's assets and change in ownership of the debtors. Okay. So I think we need to go and talk a little bit about this in terms of change in ownership. So how, for instance, does the change in ownership affect some of these NOLs for some of the people out there that, again, are not tax experts, may not understand a lot of this tax stuff? Explain a little bit in terms of the change in control and how they can still preserve these NOLs.
382L5 says you can't have anything more than a 50% ownership change. As long as you stay 50% and under, you can preserve the NOLs.
Okay. Seems pretty straightforward.
That's the rule, plain and simple.
Right.
So I think that's where there's so much critical stuff about the HBC stuff is, you have these warrants being converted, you have everything else. You need to make sure you don't go over 50% at any point in time. It's imperative.
Right.
Because as soon as you do, NOLs are null and void.
Also, real quick, I didn't know this, but Ryan here in the chat says, oh, fuck. Also, this other thing with 2686 is the part that says that the admin expenses fully paid. Remember that there was an admin priority claim, the $10 billion from Meadows. So I think the admin's expenses is different from his claim, correct?
The administrative expenses within this particular invoice are going to be different than an administrative claim. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Also, this was up to the 29th, whereas the admin claim came in just recently, like a couple weeks ago, right? So,
one more quick thing on the ownership structure, though, in regards to the can't go over 50%. I think that's where those affiliates come into play. And again, the way this deal was structured, especially with the HBC, you could get several entities that know they want to buy into this thing, whether it's part of a Keiretsu or a joint partnership or something else. And you've got maybe one big dog that owns more than everybody else, but it's still under 9.9% or whatever it needs to be. And then you've got multiple entities that also own 10% or 9% or whatever, 5, however it's structured. You can retain all the NOLs because you have control through yourself and your affiliates. But nobody is over that 50% structure, that 50% mark.
Right. We still don't even know who the... Go ahead, Travis.
I don't think so. I don't think you can give up more than 50% of the equity. So if somebody were to come in with 35%, they have another, affiliate who's at 10, then another new owner can't be more than 5. I think you have to retain 50% of the equity, the normal equity.
But I don't think own equity through the HBC deal because they converted to commons.
Agreed, and I think that's why it's imperative. But that's why it's imperative to keep it under 50%. That's why I also think the 428 number is such a big deal of float. That I think I know it's close, and 428 is still speculative. I honestly am thinking it's like 440 something because we're at what 778. Is that right? What's the TSO? 782, 778, something like that.
782, I think.
Yeah, and so I think it's imperative that the float remains at least half of that. If you have half of that, I don't care what the HBC deal has. I don't care how many people are involved in the HBC deal. The equity holders have at least 50% and retain that after the bankruptcy filing on
that
April
would
23rd.
Make sense.
We're done. We're good.
That would make sense too. Like when you analyze like some of the deals that they've had and how big, like you said, the TSO and with the HBC deal, and that very well could be likely with how they do have an ownership change in terms of more than 50%. So Keenan with the 7 been in this play since July 2022, down 118,000. I have 28,000 shares. Will I be a millionaire? Price targets for MOAS, please. All right, Keenan, I don't think anyone can answer that question, man. But honestly, 28,000 shares is quite a bit, man. So I personally, if I were you, I wouldn't be too worried about how many shares I have at that point. I was going to, the other major thing too is that we still don't even know who the CEO of DK Butterfly is either. You know what I mean? So they took the fine, right? I mean, look, if things were just a simple, restructure, come out of this, liquidation, whatever you want to fucking call this, right? I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. The main thing is that we still don't even know who the fuck the goddamn CEO is, right? They paid a small fine and they skipped that, and nobody's talking about it, damn it. I want the goddamn questions here. I want the goddamn questions answered. I personally think that it's most certainly the guy from fucking GameStop that recently resigned. What's his fucking name?
Furlong.
Not Furlong.
Furlong. Yeah, Furlong. Yeah. I think it's Matt Furlong, to be honest with you. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I also, like I said, there's still a lot of there's still a lot of questions that have not been answered. So, yeah.
I like that. I do. I mean, he resigned on his own accord, not breaking any of the rules. And the only thing RC tweets is not for long. It's like, okay, well, you have plans for this guy. What's he going to do? Is he going to run Teddy? Is he going to run Bye Bye Baby? Are you in Bye Bye Baby? Well, I mean,
exactly.
We already know you're in Bye Bye Baby. We figured that out. And I led Jake to the puzzle piece. Yeah, no, I like that. I really do.
Question. When does ownership change? Like if you have an agreement to buy something, like as far as taxes go, like does ownership not change until it actually goes through? Because like if Baby had a lien on it and you'd bought it, you said like I'll buy it as soon as the lien is gone, and you put the money, let's say in escrow or whatever, would it technically have been yours that whole time?
So this is complex and great question. But we've had a lot of various ownership changes over the last 11 months, or sorry, 10 months since February, where, I mean, we had a little bit of issuance last year, not much. That would dilute us too much, but that was a public offering. Actually, it was Jeffries, which they ended up selling on the open market. And then all the HBC stuff, B. Riley, everything. Great question. And this is why it's so complex, because your ownership changes upon execution of the offering documents. Not the offering documents, but the actual offering. And so we've had several ownership changes throughout this saga. But it really comes down to April 23rd when they filed, and the ownership changes within the last year of that. And so I think that we're going to be okay. I think this was structured properly. I mean, we know that they've been working on this since August of 2022, maybe even a little bit before then. We know that all these offering documents were done structurally, according to Jake's space call today. It seems like all of this was planned and necessary and were intentional. Um, as far as the warrant dilution, I think that's where the Section 16 stuff comes into play. I think they were getting really, really close. And so they had to try to make either some exception or look into it. And that's where you have the best U.S. tax accountants in the world working on it. I can't answer this definitively, but I think they were getting very, very close to that 50% number. I think everything else is on the open market. That's me.
Someone argued that there's no way for there to be a 50% ownership control because we own the entire float plus some. What would you refute to that?
I'm sorry, one more time.
So some people out there claim that we own more than 100% of the float. How would a 50% ownership change occur if we own everything?
Okay, so that was done by Market Street. This was a Main Street Media article that said there was two articles. One said that we had spent over 200 million since bankruptcy. Retail spends over 200 million on Bed Bath & Beyond since bankruptcy. I did the math. We were under 20 cents. That's a billion shares. 800 to a billion shares. So we basically own the float. That was also done. The one that says we own 100% of the float is not because we own 100% of the float, but because we were no longer part of the 13F filings, and all institutions stopped reporting. And so it appeared that retail were the only owners of the float. I don't believe that to be the case. I don't believe every institution sold. I believe that they just no longer had to report it.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that as well. I think that there's a lot of institutions that are still holding large positions of this stock. It's just, yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't think they have to report it at the end of the day. Go ahead, Michael.
Just like, I mean, the B. Riley, I'm just trying to think like the closed-end fund, that Jake was talking about yesterday. I mean, $1 billion worth of shares, like that would be a lot, right? So,
right.
I mean, my guess is maybe, I don't know if that put it to 50% went into that closed-end fund, and then the warrants took whoever that is past the 50%. But I mean, that's what would make sense to me, I guess. So
I don't think it was $1 billion.
Oh, good.
Oh, I was going to say, it wasn't $1 billion worth of shares. It was 200 million worth of shares, but the stock was trading at 20 cents and under.
The B. Riley deal said that they were allowed to do up to $1 billion worth, which if you look at the price at that time, I mean, that would have been more than enough to get to 50% ownership.
100 million.
There's also a difference between having shares in your brokerage, especially internationally, and especially some of these like shady brokerages versus like ownership of a company. We're not getting real share counts on those if you believe that the short position is as high as we believe it is.
Mm-hmm. So we have a post here from Bourbon God. He's with Docket 2686, and what it says is change in ownership occurred. What it says is Gibbons works for UCC Unsecured Creditors Committee, if I understood correctly. UCC tried to take money from debtors by going after the NOLs. Monetize was the word. Without NOLs, the shareholders don't need to be preserved. All right, I'm going to read that one more time. UCC tried to take money from the debtors by going after the NOLs. That is the term monetize. Without NOLs, shareholders don't need to be preserved. So essentially, like what they probably want to argue the fact, look, why do we need these NOLs? Let's fucking, let's use them on the rest of these bondholders, like Travis pointed out, things like that, because essentially the plan is stating for a long time that shareholders are getting nothing. The biggest thing is that a lot of people on one side are choosing to believe, for instance, that we are receiving something. So again, it's one side against the other. So that's what the monetize in terms of NOLs means. Change in ownership occurred. Yes, with an ed at the end. Occurred. UP. NOLs weren't monetized for unsecured creditors. That is not what you want. This supports our thesis that a white knight fights for us. This is credit to Poopy Old Man and Vinegar Strokes. All right, let's take a look at the change in ownership right there, because we already have the docket 2686. We can look at both. Does the 2686 just link you to the entire docket?
Yeah.
Okay, so just change in ownership. Let's see what it says there. Yeah. So this was the section here.
Oh, yeah, it's the same.
I think we had read it earlier. Yeah, the firm's services in these categories were necessary and reasonable, as its goals was to preserve and monetize the debtor's net operating losses. And certain events during these Chapter 11 necessarily impacted the ability to do so, including the sale of the debtor's assets and change in the ownership of the debtors. So ownership change has already happened. NOLs are most likely already preserved. Alan with the 5, they stated NOLs couldn't be monetized due to the complexity and speed of the bankruptcy. That with the NDAs makes me think the deal was done pre-bankruptcy. I don't think it was done pre-bankruptcy. It could have been, there could be, you could be correct, Alan. But I think that it happened. I don't think it happened too long after they filed bankruptcy. That's for sure. I think the NOLs were always the target. And look, like when we get together with Bill as well, like what does he highlight? He typically highlights that NOLs are valuable, and that's essentially, there's a lot of value to these NOLs. So again, I think it's very good that the NOLs were not monetized. That's great, man. Again, that just gives me hope that they're most likely taking shareholders for the ride. We just need to wait on the fucking docket that confirms it, and we're ready to fuck, man. That's for sure. So, yeah. Anything else you fellows want to add? There are a couple posts I can pull up, but if there's anything that you guys wanted to focus on pertain to anything, let me know. I think Jake was supposed to show up tonight as well. I think he might still be coming, but yeah, if you guys want to take it away, anything you guys wanted to add, I'm all ears.
I'm on the floor here waiting for Jake,
All right.
Yeah.
My ass is falling asleep.
Let me see what we can talk about here. All right. All right. We can pull this up. This is from Travis from today. Let's pull this post up here. Do you guys see also the fucking Legos, like the tinfoil behind it, that it's like dicks and shit? It's like dildos. Yeah, you need to see it, man. They kind of look like the upvotes and the downvotes on the sub. Like it's some weird shit. I mean, it's tinfoil, but it's definitely it's on the sub. It's like there's a Lego drop with like a Christmas tree, and like one of them's like holding a rocket, and there's like these like curved like. Did you guys fucking see it? Like the dildo decor. Yeah, there's like these curved.
You're gonna have to show me.
You have to see this shit, man. You're gonna lose your mind if you see this. Yeah, I mean it's tinfoil, but fuck, man, it's really weird, man.
You've seen the show, right?
Yeah, no, you definitely. I'll look for it while Travis covers this in terms of Bye Baby. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
I mean, so actually the green bottle.
Which one?
Right on the page that Travis has, the green bottle. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's a sign. It seems kind of random. Be like, oh, we're excited.
Yeah, I guess so. Travis, let's hear it, man. What do you think? I mean, you wrote this post here. You said there's 100.
It's just a picture, but no, this was dope. So somebody posted on Twitter, and I was like, yo, I got to put this on the subreddit. And so I went to Facebook and went to Bye Bye Baby, and sure enough, they have a entire plethora of products. I'm talking hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of products on their Facebook page. Not all of these link to their website. A majority, if you just go to their website and look up featured, majority of those go straight to the website. You click on the website, it goes to the coming soon page. And it's like, it's hard to tell if this is a legacy site or if this is new, but I haven't seen
What happens when you try and buy stuff?
No, anytime I try to, you can buy it on Bye Bye Baby View website. You click on website, it goes to the website that says coming soon or coming fall 2023. So it's like, okay, this is interesting. Like, I mean, we're not talking a few dozen. We're talking hundreds of products, maybe thousands.
Wait, they're advertising products that you can't buy currently?
Correct. Yeah,
this is on as you can buy them currently.
Yes, go to Facebook, type in Bye Bye Baby in your search, go to it. It'll take you to their marketplace or their product, and yeah, this was to me. I'm like, okay, can I?
Yeah, because I don't fuck with Facebook.
That might dox me. Hold on.
Oh.
Because it's gonna have my. No, actually, it may not. It might be all right. Bye Bye Baby.
Where the fuck is this dildo Lego shit, man? I'm looking for it while you guys are...
I think I'm okay here. Just let me clear out some notifications.
Doing God's work, PP.
Someone find the goddamn dildo Lego shit, man.
Okay. I'm gonna do this. It does have a picture of me and my son, but that's fine. So I'm gonna share this instead. All right. So this is Bye Bye Baby's Facebook page. I just searched Bye Bye Baby, went here, featured shop, and I go to view shop, and it has all their stuff. And you can view collections, you can see all products.
When did that? Do you know when that launched?
Let's buy some shit.
I don't know. But if you click into the products, view on website, and this will take you to buybuybaby.com, which of course we know.
Facebook?
I cannot.
Okay. So what happens there? Yeah, click it.
Yeah, so if I view on website, it's going to take me to their website, which says coming fall 2023.
Until it doesn't.
So on that front page, do you know who made that body oil? It's Grove. That's for Larry Chang.
I don't want to go back. Hold on, because I might go back too far. I don't want to dox.
No. You can go back to your post. Your post on Reddit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that bottle right there. I just looked it up on Google, and it's sold by Grove.
That's awesome.
Boom.
Tinfoil.
I love that company. I have $0, but I do love Grove. I love the idea behind it. So it seems like a home run.
So you don't know when like the site was launched that you could start ordering. Okay.
It seems interesting though.
You're muted
at all.
You're
oh,
muted.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I said I do not, but at the same time, it was interesting enough where I was like, yo, I mean, we're not talking like 100 products. I went and looked up everything over $400, hundreds and hundreds of cribs, strollers, like hundreds. And I'm like, if this is everything over $400, like we're talking thousands of products here already, like ready to go. It's just sitting in this site ready to launch.
Right.
So to me, it was spicy, maybe bullish, who knows, but interesting nonetheless.
All right on. All right, so we got that dildo decor to show off the tinfoil tonight. Oops, let's fix that. There we go. Here it is right here. So this is Lego Insiders Weekend is coming 11/18 through 11/19. Again, this is tinfoil, so just keep that in mind. And let's take a look at that next picture.
Is that Michael or me? That's Michael. Okay.
This shit is so fucking funny, man. Can you scroll up to it? Or you might have to like zoom out then zoom in with like your computer.
Okay. So where you want it here?
Yeah, there you go.
It's a rocket? Oh my gosh.
Dude, tell me those. No, you got to scroll up like slightly, dude, to see like the heads.
Yeah.
Like, tell me that's.
Come on. You're reaching.
On, man.
What is that supposed to be?
What the fuck would those be, man? They look like curved fucking dildos, man. Curved cocks, man. Tell me, how is that fucking decor, man? How?
Like,
what the fuck even is that?
Christmas streamers?
But what the fuck is this?
It's not a stocking.
Christmas spirit.
It's a bow with a ribbon blowing in the wind.
Dude, those are our upvotes and our downvotes on our subreddit. That's what they fucking look like. I swear to God, man.
Come on,
literally.
chat, what is it?
That's fucking nuts, right? Again, it's some tinfoil. But look, scroll down, and the guy has a rocket as well. If you scroll down a little bit, you see he's like holding.
That's a rocket.
Yeah, right above the green dildo. You see it?
And even the Christmas tree could pass as a rocket.
Yeah, I was actually, that was my first thought.
So fucking funny, man.
I say no on the dildos, but the rockets, yes.
Like what?
And there's Lego's on board with this shit. They do a lot.
But it does. They do have big heads. I mean, look at them.
There's just so many things. Like, I mean, you can't say it's not that.
Dude, I have never seen any decoration that looks like, what the fuck are those supposed to be? I mean, they don't even look like wreaths or anything. Again,
you know what they are.
Yeah, they look like dildos, man.
I'm crying.
Dildos?
Oh yeah, there's a train right there. You see it? The train is right there on the right.
Oh yes,
it's like a blue train. Some good tinfoil, fellas.
I mean,
I don't know.
Is that a nutcracker? I think it's a nutcracker.
That's a nutcracker. Yeah. I would concur.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
It's interesting, man. You know, I mean, it's tinfoil. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. You know,
dude, everyone's gonna have that instead of a nativity in their home.
Yeah. All right, so I have another post here. This was brought up under 2687, I think. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. All right, let's take a look at this.
Michael, I'm gonna let you take that one.
Air Jordan with the 2. I'm here for the deep space tinfoil. All right, you came to the best spot, man, for it.
I thought it was a dick space tinfoil.
All right. Oh wait, not this one. Pull up that other one, Michael. Okay. The baking powder one. Yeah.
All
right.
The baking powder one.
Yeah, this is from a user. If you scroll up real quick. Skig with the 2. Finally, some good fucking foil. Right on. So this is from Fred Daff and Beyond. Squeeze me. Baking powder. I thought you said 16B. I think this was from 2687, I believe. But if we scroll down here, there was a mention here from August 8th. It does say attention to 16B claim issues. What are your opinions, Travis, on this?
16B is going to be referencing the swing trade rule. Half an hour, still important, especially August 8th. You know, since we're in November, it's hard to think back to August. It really is. I know we were done with, all auctions. We're moving forward with, the plan.
Mm-hmm.
August, all auctions would have been settled, APA signed, so this would have been a warrant conversion. This could have been pertaining to the last warrant conversion or the last 180 preferred shares that could have come into it. So interesting.
Clearly, they're referencing Ryan Cohen with the swing trade rule, right?
Ryan or HBC, and one could be the same as the other.
Sure.
So yes.
All right. Real quick, Alpha State with the 10. Imagine the docket with the final confirmation is filled with Kroll, and the ThePPShow is the media vehicle to which they use to take a public announcement. Of course, done so by PP reading it live on air. That'd be fucking sick. But we'll see. All right. So we have a post here from Salvatore as well that he wanted us to touch up on the show this evening as well. So we'll go ahead and read back in terms pertaining to the DTCC. Also, there's another post that we'll be taking a look at here in a moment. It does have to do with Marcus Lemonis as well.
I love that one.
The one where he says now.
No.
All right. So Salvatore here writes, Bed Bath Q is the first manipulated meme stock that has been able to exit the complicitly fraudulent DTCC. Unlike many companies who have been death spiraled into inexistence by market makers working complicitly with short sellers in the DTCC. Remember, the DTCC committed international securities violation when they incorrectly issued the GME stock split via dividend in 2022. Bernie Madoff was a founding board member of the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, the DTCC, subsidiary in London, and he stated if the DTC had audited him, he wouldn't have been able to steal $65 billion since the 1970s. Jesus Christ. The DTCC is a self-governing membership organization. It is owned and governed by its members, which include banks, broker dealers, custodians, asset managers, transfer agents, and other market participants. This is huge conflict of interest by making the snake the guardian of the eggs. We have to leave the DTCC to have securities reissued to a more free and fair exchange like T0. Bed Bath Q shares have been canceled from the DTCC and removed to a liquidating trust, as confirmed by Wells Fargo and transfer agent AST. This is the best outcome for organic price discovery because if we are correct, the new equity is issued onto the NASDAQ or NYSE. It would be manipulated repeatedly, and the price would be a reflection of short sellers' margin accounts, not supply and demand. We needed to remove this malicious and manipulative middleman. There is empirical data to suggest abusive malpractices being applied to Bed Bath & Beyond. Here are some indicators. Multiples of the float, 117 million traded daily, January 18th, 2023, 113,962,700, January 17th, 2023. 159,882,000, 225 million for January 13th, January 12th, 435,000, January 11th, 995,000, and January 10th, 749,000. I'm sorry. I just butchered all of that.
It's all good. It was a lot.
Yeah,
way more
sorry.
than it should have been.
I don't know why are there no goddamn spaces, Sal? What the fuck, man? All right. Abnormal trading volume throughout 2023. 1.2 billion shares traded from January 10th to January 18th, 2023. The float was only 117 million at the time, meaning we saw the entire float 10 times over within 7 trading days. This back and forth high frequency trading between market makers is indicative of abusive price suppression. Indicative. My apologies. Bed Bath & Beyond was on Reg Show for close to 90 days early 2023, accumulating a high amount of failure to delivers. There is a lot of suggestive abusive selling of the stock by market makers like Citi Securities and Virtue Financial, who were prominent market makers on the order books. Maybe that's why he's so mad, man, the guy over Doug Sifu and all that shit. What's the purpose of an SEC regulation to require locates if it isn't upheld? Overstock were on Reg Show threshold for 800 days in May 2008 without any remedial actions taken by the SEC. I cannot believe it's a coincidence that Overstock entered as a stalking horse bidder without being aware of the same indicators of fraud occurring in Bed Bath & Beyond. They have the platform and legal precedent in court to ensure manipulative short selling of Bed Bath Q can be stopped, and this would also trigger a shareholder windfall. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. It isn't coincidental that during the Bed Bath Q Chapter 11, Overstock have ceased to exist and have absorbed the entire Bed Bath & Beyond brand. April 10th, SEC filing It says the company has received several inquiries from shareholders regarding naked short selling. The company does not have specific access to information regarding any share lending or short selling transactions. While the company is unable to confirm such activity, the company denounces any market manipulation of its stock. The board had to reissue a public statement due to the amount of piling evidence to securities manipulation only 13 days before entering Chapter 11. Prior to entering Chapter 11, the DTCC were confirmed as holding 776 million shares when only 739 million issued by the company at the time, an extra 33 million shares. Did they get too excited with this dilution narrative? Bed Bath also held a prominent marketing campaign for a desperately needed reverse split, which strangely wasn't effectuated. I believe the number of votes received was a fishing expedition for fraud, and the data collection provided enough reasonable cause to report this fraud. The numbers haven't been revealed to date. So where are we now? I believe this is why the credit bid has been I believe this is why the credit bid has been waiting for. The credit bid can happen at any time before Rule 3022, final decree in Chapter 11 reorganization case. We also have the benefit of a narrow exemption requiring zero interference from the SEC. Section 1145A3 grants a debtor in possession or trustee in Chapter 11 an extremely narrow portfolio security exemption from Section 5 of the Securities Act of 1933, 15 U.S.C. 77E, or any comparable state law. The provision was considered by Congress and adopted after much study. The exemption is reasonable and is more restrictive than comparable provisions under the Securities Act. So our equity has left the complicit DTCC, and the useless SEC Gov can't interfere with reissuance. Sixth Street owns 87% of the remaining secured debt, and someone owns a huge chunk of bonds. Why would majority bondholders accept a plan which provides them 0 to 2.5% recovery? Why are the bonds trading again? What has changed? Despite what pocket watchers say, a secured creditor has the right to credit bid at a sale of its collateral under a Chapter 11 plan. This means that the creditor can bid on the property using the amount of its secured claim as payment. The courts will allow credit bidding in Chapter 11 cases unless there is a good reason to deny it. The purpose of the Chapter 11 is to restructure the company and to move it forward. It's not an eBay auction with bidding deadlines. The outcome of the debtors for the favor of all stakeholders is a priority and cannot be denied. The plan can also be modified before substantial consummation, and as long as it benefits all stakeholders. I believe this is why Bye Bye Baby is still not trading. Despite the IP sale occurring 4 months ago and Dream on Me losing a quarter of their annual revenue to date by not using the intellectual property they purchased. Anyone could disagree, but they cannot disprove our working thesis. There's 300 hours of redacted legal services and a veil of secrecy over this reorganization. It's not as binary and simple as the people want, people who cannot comprehend it. This is unprecedented territory, and future retail investors will use our work to seek a similar astronomical anomaly of an investment. We can be wrong, but there's mountains of circumstantial evidence to support our thesis. Whereas the pocket watcher's main argument is referring us to a 7-week-old 8K. History is written by the victors. All right. Fucking beautiful post. Well articulated and executed, in my opinion. What do you fellas think in terms of this post from Sal here? What do you think? Let's hear it.
Well, Famous is on.
I was going to say Famous.
Oh, you're pointing at Michael.
Well, because I mirrored on YouTube, but not.
Dude, here. That got me really bad the first time too. Yeah, I do have to head out, but always love Sal's post, and that was an excellent one. And gentlemen, all the love. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. Chat, everybody. Thank you.
All right, you heard it from Famous.
With you guys.
All right, take care, man. See you
later, guys.
All right, you heard it from Famous. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
One, they couldn't use the language of naked short selling because, according to the SEC, it didn't exist until a few weeks ago when they officially said it does now exist. So I think that they would have gotten in trouble if they would have said that, because it would be like causing hysteria or, whatever.
It's always existed. Dog sees food. What's his name?
Yeah, no, it's existed, but the thing is the SEC wouldn't allow people to say that it exists. They were just gaslighting everyone. And then once they find Goldman Sachs and Citadel for naked short selling and actually wrote it, so you go to like sec.gov and it actually says it there. Now they could say it.
It's always existed. Let's face it. As long as market makers have been given the exemption to create liquidity when there isn't any, and for dog seafood to come out and say, when there's only when the person wants 1,000 shares of this and there's only 100 offered, we can offer it at the NBBO. You just created 900 naked shares. And yes, you do have an opportunity to go find those within 2 days. And if you don't find those within 2 days, they become an FTD, which then you have 35 more days to resolve. But you can't tell me that somebody else isn't coming in putting in $1,000 bid for more and more and more. And you create all these fake shares as a market maker that then you have to go and find. And if you don't find them, that's fine. You just go borrow them from a prime. But the prime brokers we know are just clicking F5 or F3 or whatever it was. Excuse me. And creating locates that they don't necessarily have locates for.
Right.
So you have market makers that are borrowing these shares to cover their FTDs that the locates for those don't even exist. We know this is the playbook. We know this is the plan. We know this is how it's been done.
Right.
And we've learned all this over the last 2.5 years. And I'm sorry, the markets are fraudulent. They are.
So I got a question for you. And this is really the biggest elephant in the room, in my opinion. And I think, when looking at this entire play, looking at this entire deal, analyzing the NOLs, analyzing all the sale leases, everything that has happened up to this point. Make it make sense to me in terms of this giant multi-billion-dollar claim that's been put on the company. There was an original claim by the same person. It's Brandon Meadows, right? For like $1 billion. How long ago was the first $1 billion submitted? And was it admin priority at the time then, or no?
I don't know that answer.
Okay.
And I don't
thought
know
it was all at once.
Second answer.
Remember.
No,
Okay.
There was $1 billion, and then like a month or two later, there was like 10 billion.
I think it was longer than a month or two later.
It was like 3, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So my biggest question is that, if the first claim wasn't tossed out, right? What essentially is happening with this like multi-billion-dollar claim on the company? I mean, how do you make sense of it, man? 11 billion nearly. I mean, how does this make sense?
I got nothing.
Someone has to know this.
No. This is the one thing that
make it make sense.
Me. And I'm like, we don't know. We don't know what that claim was. He didn't submit proof of work.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't submit, I have a claim because of this. It was, here's my claim, and I'm claiming it. And he got through.
Okay.
Which it takes a lot just to get through. You got to pass like 8 steps of, you got to prove that you're owed this. You got to prove that you have a claim. You got to prove that, something's owed to you. The fact that it showed up was like, I'm still baffled by that one thing to this day. That's the one thing that baffles me.
But
on this whole
if naked short selling exists now, and let's say that he was a shareholder, a bondholder, something a while back, and then he's like, this could have been a $10 billion company had naked short selling not existed, and had they not destroyed all the fraud, destroyed the value of the company.
Right. Well, I mean, clearly, like, that's a pretty big claim to say that essentially that the company owes 11 billion, man. I mean, and again, why not throw out the first initial claim as well? And then when you actually analyze it, it's 10%. It would technically be 10% of the stalking horse bid, if like you really want to analyze it there. So,
more
is it?
No. The stalking horse. The stalking horse was maybe 10% of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like the initial 1 billion compared to the later 10 billion that he submits, it's essentially 10%, right? So I don't get it. You know, I don't understand how the company would owe this individual nearly 11 billion. And I draw a fucking blank, man, trying to make sense of it.
I mean,
why is it not tossed out though?
What if there's $10 billion worth of naked synthetic shares out there?
No. I don't know. So someone also said here, Ryan says it was a 503B9 at the time. And then I guess this later one was an admin priority claim.
Well, it was all the above. It was admin priority and the 3 other classes of claim. They basically sent in and that was the thing that baffled me, makes me go, I don't know about this. And I still don't know about this because they sent in a claim that maxed out all 4 types of claims. You had admin priority and the 3 others, which off the top of my head, I don't know. But they basically just submitted the maximum. And so I thought this was a joke at first. And then I read about, no, in order even to get to this stage, you have to go through approvals and you have to satisfy so many requirements to even get the first approval. And then you got to satisfy requirements to get the second approval. And then it's actually submitted. And I was like, okay, this might have some standing. I don't know what it is. I'm baffled by it, but
right.
It's strange to me, and I still don't know or have an answer.
Yeah.
Also, just real quick from this post, it reminded me of something OK Bet said. He said that it is actually possible that so Marcus Lemonis tweeted, "Welcome to a fair market." And Overstock had moved from the NASDAQ to the NYSE, and the NYSE is owned by the ICE, which is the and ICE owns a big percentage of T0. And so what he's saying is there is a chance that the New York Stock Exchange will just implement T0 into their whole exchange. And so
let's pull up that post from Marcus Lemonis. This is some interesting stuff. Let's take a look at it. We're still on the other screen, Michael.
No, this is it.
No, this is Sal's post.
This is my body is ready. Yeah, what do you...
Oh, my shit's like fucking slow or something. That's my internet.
I thought you were gaslighting me. I was like,
No. I was like, what the fuck? All right, so this is from Aldi Girl. My body is ready right now. Aldi Girl says at Marcus Lemonis at Pulte. Hey, Marcus and Bill, can you scroll down for me, Michael?
He did.
Dude, why is my shit so laggy? What the fuck? All right.
Do you have me blocked?
No, give me a second to load, I guess. What the fuck is happening? All right, I'll read it on the YouTube screen. How about that? Hey, Marcus and Bill, can you solve a riddle for me? If a couple is 2 and a few is more, then a couple and several is more than a few and a couple. How soon is soon? And if you can scroll down there, Michael, he says right now. All right. So what are our thoughts, man? And I don't know if it's scrolling down on YouTube. Yeah, it's still delayed. But yeah. What are our thoughts here? There it is right here. Right now. What are you guys thinking? Because here's the deal. Like if Marcus Lemonis is going to become the CEO of Overstock, i.e., this new like Bed Bath & Beyond type of brand, that's fantastic. That's great. But the key here is that a lot of the holders, because he also made another comment about I hold with the holders or whatever it may be, an army of holders. Well, the only army of holders, in my opinion, are here in Bed Bath & Beyond, which is BBBYQ. And I'm sure there's a lot of investors in Overstock, but I don't really see a very large following in terms of like subreddits that are devoted to Overstock, things like that. So I'm just trying to understand, and I did tweet Marcus as well, and I'm like, what is this like army of holders that you're referencing, and just try to poke, the bear a little bit, just to see if for a response. But something has to be here, right? I hope that, in my opinion, I hope that it's not just hype in terms revolving around overstock, because we as shareholders need to figure out what's going to happen to our equity. That is the most important thing. Me personally, I'm not sitting here, ready to go buy a bunch of overstock all of a sudden. I'm here in Bed Bath & Beyond. I buy some fucking GME as well from time to time. IP. There's a couple tickers that I like, primarily that I buy. And I don't want to all of a sudden start putting my money into overstock, just, out of nowhere. So I want to find out what happens in terms of our equity. What are your guys' thoughts in terms of Marcus and his right now response to Aldi Girl?
Personally, he had another tweet today that I thought was kind of juicy as well, about how overstock is now Beyond and not Bed Bath & Beyond, and you should be in one and not the other. And he goes, why not both, or something like, or both. I forget exactly his response, and I was like, that's juicy.
Right.
Hey, Sloppy must be feeling better.
Yeah, Sloppy's here now.
Welcome, Sloppy. I hope you're getting over your illness. I understand you were under the weather. Good to see you. But no, I mean, he made another tweet that I'm like, yo, this guy is either messing with us or he knows something that can't say anything. So
right,
we'll wait and see.
Mm-hmm. And the turtleneck DD was pretty good too, like in terms of like the turtleneck, and like he is wearing one. So I mean, again, there's a lot of questions, but I just want to be cautious of suddenly put your money into overstock, stuff like that. That's not what, I'm trying to do primarily. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that there's probably some overstock investors, which is great, but we need to be careful of things like that.
Agreed. I mean,
it's not but like it also like a huge distance between them. I mean, like they own the IP for Bed Bath, so it's not like we could just ignore their influence in,
Right.
Did anybody see what they ran today?
What is it at right now?
It went up like 12% today.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh, I'll bring it up. Trading View.
I literally almost bought calls in overstock yesterday, but I bought GME calls.
I was mad that I didn't. I was mad that I didn't. Yeah, it ran. What's it up today? Here, I'll do it and then I'll share. Yeah, right at 12%. Here, share Trading View. 12%.
That's not bad.
Not bad. That's a great day.
Yeah.
And OBV's looking good. Our RSI was pretty solid throughout the day. Overbought through most of the day.
You know
Went
what?
A little bit oversold, but not too bad. Mostly overbought. So
yeah, since you have this TA up real quick, can we take a look at IAP real quick? I just want to look at it. I know. So I know you, Wally, with the 10. When is Spider coming on to present Michael's DD? Spider? Who's Spider? Like Spidey?
Oh, Spidey.
Yeah. Does he have some DD tonight? Right on. Yeah, Spidey, if you want to join the show, you're more welcome to. All right. IP's at almost $20. Right on. What's it at in the last month? What's the price action?
This is 3 month.
Man, they got fucked up big time.
So we're at the 14th. So it's pretty level from where it was a month ago. Tad bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're looking at, let's look at all of them. You know what? We are covering different stocks now. GME ran today. It ran nice 6%. It ran high, and of course they sank it low throughout the day as they always do. It's either an initial drop,
right,
and then it kind of comes up and levels out throughout the day, or it's a spike and we're going to run it down throughout the day. This was a spike.
Lumi also said it's going to come down to 11, but I don't know how accurate that is, if that's true.
I mean, I'm tapped out until one of these run. I don't care which one runs first. I don't care if Bed Bath Beyond comes back. I don't care if GME runs. I'm in both. Right. I do have a little bit. I'm also in.
Jeez, give me a moment.
Your wife is burning dinner. I don't know if I'm in Toy RF. which I know is the Australian one, but I'm still in it. I do want to get some in Beyond. I do want to get some in IEP, but I'm actually a little bit tapped out. And so it is what it is. But I'm trying to do all 5 plays. I think all of these have tremendous potential, especially IEP, the way that it's tanked over the last 3 months. It's trading at what 40% of what it originally was 3.5, 4 months ago. And the funny thing is, let's go back to Beyond real quick. I think it's worth noting that the last 5 days, and I have a weird lag, so bear with me.
All right, the house is not burning down. We're good.
Okay. The last like few days, it has kind of dwindled down, and they like dropped it yesterday morning.
Yeah,
just dropped it. And the interesting thing is, pre-market is when it ran. So if you would have bought calls here for like $15, $16, you'd be in the money. I'm not telling anybody to do anything with their money. I'm just saying hypothetically, if you did, you'd be in the money, you'd be profitable. So actually quite a bit of volatility that I'm seeing here. OBV looks like it's running with the stock price, except when we have those big tanks.
I will not touch Overstock until we're made whole.
I agreed. I'm kind of,
and even then, I don't even know if I'm going to touch it. You know,
I will say when it drops hard, OBV doesn't. And that's the biggest indicator for me, is that, hey, I think this is manipulated. I think this is being shorted down. OBV does drop a little, but when it runs harder. OBV is, level with where it was when the price target was right here.
Right.
And so OBV tells me that, which is on balance volume, which is like purchases per price. Basically, that's the easiest way I can describe it. It's a good indicator to say if something is overbought, oversold, or overshorted. And I think this is being overshorted. Now, of course, this is Beyond, which is overstock. IEP, I guess we could look at the same thing. Let me just do a quick look at it. I mean, a big run here. The most interesting thing to me, I'm going to get this out of the picture, is that it ran on nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
OBV?
saying. Yeah.
And then when market opens, it runs even more. So to me, that's a big telling sign that, hey, this is running on almost zero volume. There's something at play here for IEP, that it ran that much on almost little volume. RSI, of course, right in the range where you
they
want
haven't
to see
even done their share buyback yet either.
Agreed.
So
no, I think there's potential for IEP, Beyond, Toys R Us, and I know Toys R F is a little bit different, but I'm gambling with that. That was a few like $50. I didn't put a lot in, or about like $80 because $50 was my fee for overseas. But that was just let's have some fun.
Right. We have someone backstage here that I'm going to go ahead and pull in. Just give me just one moment here. Let me just get their
I see it.
Here.
I'll stop sharing and let you do it.
Sounds good. Give me 1 second, fellas. Chad, please give a warm welcome to You Copy.
I want it.
Chat, welcome, You Copy.
Hey guys. Hey,
Copy.
Hey
How
guys,
the fuck you doing tonight, man?
Yeah, doing pretty good. I saw you guys kind of talking about overstock, and I did post my TA on your Reddit.
Sure.
And then I got fucking downvoted like crazy. I don't know, but like you said, I think we are like Travis said. I do agree with. I think even like not only overstock, a lot of stocks are already kind of on the bottom. And then I think I'll just throw some like TA for overstock, and then I like to share. There's a difference between Nasdaq versus NYSE. And I'll just share that first, maybe before I kind of begin.
Sure, let's take a look.
So So somebody shared this earlier, and I thought this is very interesting because, as you guys know, recently Overstock changed their ticker, and not only that, they moved from Nasdaq to NYSE, and I was wondering why. The interesting thing is the Nasdaq is more like it's more like an algo, like it's all algorithm trading. It's all algorithm trading based, but NYSE is it has a bit of a both algorithm, but also it's auction based. So if you don't sell, let's say BBY goes to NYSE, whatever happens, maybe merge with Overstock, whatever. If something, if they goes to NYSE, it's benefit for us because if we don't sell, it's much more chaotic for short sellers.
I see.
Yeah, so when you look at it, NYSE has a hybrid trading model, use both people and technology, whereas Nasdaq is entirely electronic exchange. So basically, I think, and I think, yeah, I think there's something going on with Overstock. How also Overstock CEO is
with him
he's been
quitting,
buying a
it's
lot.
really weird, right? Like with him quitting, like the day they're supposed to ring the bell. Like I will agree, like something here is definitely off. In Mike Hands with the 10, I believe Marcus Lemonis is the fixer for Bed Bath & Beyond. Maybe he could be, you know, I mean, I'm not ruling it out entirely. I mean, it very well could be likely because you make a great point in terms of that. I mean, you're absolutely right, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
it also could be that the coincidence that you know, Bed Bath & Beyond needed to move from being a New York company to a Delaware company, and maybe Overstock needed to be in a New York Stock Exchange company. Like both of those things might have needed to happen.
Yeah.
So anything else you wanted to add, you copy tonight in terms of some of that stuff?
Yeah, man. So I did I post TA on Overstock. Like I know like there are some people might have interest in this one. So I just want to throw this one out because
oh my god.
No,
Right.
this is like what like I know we're like still like in like kind of like making a bottoming phase, but you know, like I just want to throw this out, like not like financial advice, like just, you know, just entertaining purpose. I think they're just kind of mimicking very similar chart here to what happened to this you see this one big upside here. That's what they made in August, and then we just came down all the way down here, and then I think we're making this kind of bottoming process. So so yeah, I mean, like I'm not saying like, you know, we're gonna go like, you know, to the moon or whatever. I'm just saying like, yeah, I still see like there's much more downside here. But I think next year April, like I mentioned this before about BBYQ, April, I think we might see like big like a run up, like a squeeze type of thing. And the same thing, like around like April, that's when the whole small cap, mid cap stocks will make bottom, and then they're gonna move upside.
So let me ask you this, you copy in terms of like Marcus Lemonis, like what do you think that this guy's like angle is here? I mean, do you think that, you know, he is going to be the new CEO of Overstock? And what are your thoughts on Marcus just in general?
I think so. I in my opinion, I think he's like a just board member right now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has over 2 million fucking shares in Overstock.
Yeah. And then you remember, I remember there was a CEO. He recently got fired, right? Like by some like activist investor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just clearly like what BBY went through, right? Like, you know, BBY previously you know, last year, you know, the what's his name? What's his name? The guy. Yeah, he got fired, right? He got let go. CEO got let go because of data breach. CFO, you know, whatever, like, you know, kill himself, whatever. I don't know if it's true. So I mean, there's definitely like, you know, cleanup operation going on in the company. So, you know, same thing with Overstock. So I think there's something going on, man. I don't know who's the activist investor behind this the Overstock, but I do think that there's somebody making a move. And then yeah, we'll see, man. I think there's something going on. Yeah, for sure. Overstock. Yeah.
All right, right on. You heard it from you, Copy, man. Let's get some love for you, Copy, in the chat, and you, Copy, enjoy the rest of the night, man.
Yeah, have a good night, guys. All right,
take care. We had Javed with the 2 shorts are buying potentials to cover buy on IEP. Maybe so. Mo Money with the 2 TA's astrology for grown men. We also got a 2 from Javed RC. If you're watching, it's taking too long. All right, we'll start bringing the show to a close tonight, man. Again, if RC's out there, man, let's get a goddamn tweet. And let's get a tweet if the fucking play is almost done and concluded, and we're about to fuck, man. So right on. Let's see a tweet if we're right. All right, so let's go ahead and start bringing the show to a close, man. We'll go ahead and take it to Travis first tonight. I guess Jake 2B didn't show up tonight. Maybe he had some other things that came up. So I'll go ahead and take it over to Travis. Travis, give us some closing thoughts, man, as we bring the show to a close tonight. What would you like everybody at home to know? Let's hear it.
Jake, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, he blue balled us yesterday on that fucking part 2 shit he was gonna come back with, and he never showed up.
And he didn't do it. And then on the space call, he's like, yeah, I'll be on tonight. I got some more to go over. And
what the fuck?
Jake is the high school sophomore tease.
Yes, agreed. Yeah,
yeah. We all know who those are. Like, we've all had one.
Yeah. All right, let's hear it, Travis. Closing thoughts for everybody at home.
Those are my closing thoughts.
All right.
No. I'll just say, look, I know last 2 weeks. I mean, we haven't gotten much. It's daunting. It sucks. I mean,
yeah.
And to me, I think Salvatore has said it best. Like, this is the perfect spot to be in right now. Everything's done. Lawyer fees, or I'm sorry, Jake may have said it on the space call. But all the lawyer fees are done with the former entity. We just have the entity that's going to emerge. Everything's done. It's a waiting game until they decide now's the time to do it. Let's do it. I still think we see it, in the next few days. I know we have some tinfoil for tomorrow. I have fingers crossed.
Which one? Man, which tinfoil?
Brazil.
Oh yeah, November 15th.
Brazil,
yeah.
Baby.
Man, we better fucking see it tomorrow, man. I want to fucking see it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm content either way, man. I mean, we've been in this play for so long. It's like I have no doubts,
right.
None. I mean, every doubt that I've had, I've done my research on, and I'm like, I can't prove the antithesis correct. I just can't. Jake has done a wonderful job of, connecting dots where I didn't see dots, and even though I had all the information, it's been placed there in front of us where it's like we're on the right path. We know where this is going. All we got to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. I know that this ride can get boring sometimes because we're not getting the dockets like we used to. We're not getting the excitement like we used to. But every once in a while, we get those juicy things that says, hey, the UCC creditors couldn't monetize the NOLs. So we're getting the NOLs. The equity holders are. And
that's what we wanted. Yeah. So it worked out. Yeah.
No, and when I read it this morning, of course, I was groggy. The caffeine hadn't kicked in. I'm like, what is this trying to tell me? I waited about 20, 30 minutes. I dove into it, and I was like, oh, okay. They were trying to monetize it with the CARES Act. They couldn't do it. It's ours. I mean, we're solid. Let's go. So, yeah, my closing thoughts are sit tight, hoist the colors, raise the red Jolly Roger, show no quarter.
All right, right on. You heard it from Travis, man. Travis, enjoy the rest of the night, and hope to see you tomorrow, man.
Y'all have a good night.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, you heard it from Travis, man. Let's go ahead and take it over to Michael, man. And also, Jake 2B did get back with me, and he did say, unfortunately, I cannot come tonight. I will be there tomorrow if you have the time. Of course we do, Jake. Again, let's go ahead and take it over to Michael. Michael, give us some closing thoughts, man, as we bring the show to a close tonight. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there is a good chance tomorrow is really going to be tomorrow. Especially looking back to the old hype dates and finding out that they had reorganization plans that just they couldn't go through because of different objections. But the speed at which they've been handling these objections is impressive, to be honest.
Right.
So I think that they will be able to continue to overcome whatever obstacles. I think that also it's important to know that 6th Street is in control, which we think they're good actors. And so all the fees, as far as like the plan administrator, end on the 29th. So if there's some reason for them to, if there's something or someone they're waiting for, I don't know, they're the ones that are in control right now. So I'm excited to see how it turns out, and hopefully tomorrow's tomorrow.
All right on. You heard it from Michael, man. Michael, enjoy the rest of the night, and again, hope to see you tomorrow. All right, there you have it, man. The fucking PP show. All right, we got together. We had a good old time, man. And again, we talked a little bit of shit. We went through some dockets, and there was some interesting stuff that we went through tonight. So with that being said, fellas, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the night, man. Again, good luck in the markets tomorrow. I cannot wait to hear all about it. And again, we'll have Jake here with us tomorrow to go over more stuff with us as well. He did blue balls us the other night, so hopefully we'll see him tomorrow, and we can go over the rest of that stuff. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the night. Jay says S1 coming tonight. Woohoo. Let's see it happen, man. And again, hopefully we can get a tweet from RC, man. RC, let us know if you watch the show, man, and if we're fucking correct, man. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the night. We'll see you guys tomorrow for our normal scheduled time at 7 CT. So I'll leave you guys with a greasy old dildo on the way out. With that being said, love you all. Thank you to everybody in the community, man. Whether you're right, DD, go through these dockets, have discussions with people, man. We'd love having you as part of our community, man. So with that being said, enjoy the dildo slap, fellas, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. There you fucking have it, man. Enjoy the night. Peace.